Kyle, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Congratulations on $3 million. Simple here. When did you realize that you were great at Fortnite?
I'd say about a year ago when I was competing in like the top high level of scrimmages. I was placing very well in like all the online competitions as well. So I just started realizing like maybe I'm a little bit better than the average player.
Yeah, I would say it worked out pretty well. Let's go back even further. And I guess at what age you really started to hone in on these games, and then how it built up as far as how long you were playing them each day?
Yeah, so I began like playing video games I think when I was in kindergarten, but obviously I didn't put as much time into gaming as I would have back then. But now I probably put around 6 hours or 5 to 6 hours a day average. So.
And as far as that, because I was reading about that 5 to 6 hours, and I know people are going to be going, wow, that's a lot of time. But explain how you do that, how when you first log on and how you go through your process and why it gets up to 5 and 6 hours.
Yeah, so pretty much I hop on, I do like 30 minutes of like aim training. So I warm up my aim, make sure that I'm not missing my shots. And then I also hop into like a Fortnite game mode called Creative, where I can work on my building and make sure it's smooth. And then after that, I hop into like a Discord call with some of my friends, and we go over some strategies, watch some videos, and then I usually end the day off with playing the top-tier scrimmages.
And talking to Kyle Giersdorf, Bugha on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, again, the Fortnite World Cup champion. And so most people are just getting to know you now in the outside world. Now, I'm sure in the gaming world, it's a different story. With the $3 million purse, what has changed for you now since becoming the Fortnite World Cup champion?
I think a lot of more attention has been surrounding me. I've been getting like a lot more like calls for interviews, stuff like that, which I've never gotten in the past. But also it has brought a lot of growth to my social medias, which I'm very happy about.
We're talking to Kyle Bugha Giersdorf, and he was in the zone, obviously. In the Zone, brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Kyle, I'm curious. I want to go back to you. Talked about you and your friends looking at film, and obviously Mike Golic and Mike Golic Jr. grew up in a football world. I grew up in a music world, so I spent 8 hours a day practicing. I had teachers, and I had several teachers. Are there coaches and people that you lean on that help you grow in your sport?
Honestly, no. I think this sport is like very independent upon yourself. I believe like you have to know what mistakes you make and what you have to do to correct them. So I think it's pretty much independent on the way that you come across analyzing videos or understanding new techniques and tips.
Kyle, where does this go forward? At 16 years old, we start to see, I think there's about 30 colleges that actually give out scholarships for e-games right now. You've already run $3 million and gone this direction. Do you see yourself doing this in college or just staying pro? How do you think it will work for you?
I honestly haven't really thought too much about esports in college, but I've definitely thought about going to college. But that's definitely an option for me. But yeah, I think just in general, just continuing to grow from where I'm at right now is really important.
Talking to Kyle Giersdorf again, Bugha with us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And we hear now when this gets brought up, when esports gets brought up in general, so many of the old negative stereotypes about gaming get brought up. When you hear all that, for you, was it difficult to get your parents to buy in, people around you to understand exactly what was going on?
Yeah, at the start, it was very hard for my parents to kind of understand why I was putting this much time into the game because they haven't really seen any huge results. But over time, I started to get them to ease in by making a little bit of money off some online tournaments and other things like that. And then they finally realized once I got signed that this could be like a job opportunity. So they started accepting it a little bit more after that. And then now I'm pretty sure they support it.
I can think of about 3 million reasons why. For the future, Kyle, is your future in Fortnite, or then do you start looking at other games and trying to figure out how to branch out into different games?
I think as of right now, I'm just going to be focusing on Fortnite. Until something else comes up in the future, I'll probably just stick straight to Fortnite. But if something else does come up, then obviously we'll probably switch over and then just see where that brings me.
So, Kyle, we saw what you won here. So, for those of us not as in tune to the circuit here and the tournaments and gaming, what's next on the schedule? What does it look like? Next week, next month, next year. What are events that come up?
I think I haven't really heard too much about the next events coming up. There may be one at like TwitchCon, but there's definitely going to be a lot more open qualifiers and online competitions that come with the game. From the next announcement of the Season 10. So, yeah, I think a lot of people right now are going to be grinding the game and focusing up, wanting to make probably the same amount next year.
Bugha, the Fortnite World Cup champion, with us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Last one, you mentioned TwitchCon there. Big news yesterday, Ninja announces he is going from Twitch over to the new streaming service Mixer. Give everyone in the outside world an idea of just how big this is and what it means for the world of esports and gaming and streaming.
Yeah, I think this is huge for esports and just for streaming services in general. It's getting esports and other games out there more just because there's two platforms now that are going to be pretty much competing against each other. A lot of people are hearing about this in news and social media just because it's a pretty big deal. But, yeah, I think it's really good for the future of esports and also good for the businesses of Twitch and Mixer.
Kyle, on a personal note for you, so you're in this tournament. You know what the first prize is. You know it's $3 million. At what point did you know during this thing it was over and you were going to be the winner?
Probably, I'd say around the last game, just because I knew I was up by a lot of points, and I made it off spawn, and from there I was like, yeah, I think I got this one in the bag, just because I was pretty confident in my skill from there on out.
What are you buying?
I definitely don't know what I'm really going to buy yet. Maybe like a desk, and that's about it, but definitely save it.
Saving it is a good idea. A desk.
Yeah, smart man wise beyond his years.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.